Hop on Pop by Dr. Seuss.
Up, pop, pop is up. Cup, pop, pop in a cup. Pop cup, cup on a pop. Red, red, they call me Red. Red bed, I am in bed. Red Ned, Ted, and Ed in bed. All ball, we all play ball. Ball wall upon a wall. All fall, fall off the wall. He, me, he is after me. Him, Jim, Jim is after him. CB, we see a bee. CB3, now we see 3. 3 tree, 3 fish in a tree? Fish in a tree? How can that be? Pat, Pat, they call him Pat. Pat sat on a hat. Pat cat, Pat sat on a cat. Pat bat, Pat sat on a bat. No, Pat, no! Don't sit on that. Walk, walk, we like to walk. Walk, talk, we like to talk. Hop, we like to hop on top of Pop. Stop! You must not hop on Pop. Say, what does this say? Ask me tomorrow, but not today. Would you, could you, lend an ear, dear? Can you help us read the words right here? See, he, me, we, Pat, Pup, Pop, he, 3, tree, bee, top, hop, stop. Superb, with each word you truly shine. One more spin, let's race down this time. See, he, me, we, Pat, Pup, Pop, he, 3, tree, bee, top, hop, stop. Great job, you've mastered the rhyme. Feel free to try again, but for now, it's the end of our time. The end.
Fox in Socks by Dr. Seuss.
Fox, socks, box, knocks. Knocks in a box, fox in socks. Knocks on fox in socks in a box. Socks on knocks and knocks in box. Fox in socks on box on knocks. Chicks with bricks, chicks with blocks. Chicks with bricks and blocks and clocks. Socks on chicks and chicks on fox. Fox on clocks on bricks and blocks. Bricks and blocks on knocks on box. Here's an easy game to play. Here's an easy thing to say. New socks. 2 socks. Whose socks? Sue's socks. Who sues whose socks? Sue socks. Here's a lot of new blue goo now. New goo, blue goo, gooey, blue goo, new goo, gluey. Gooey goo for chewing. That's what that goo goose is doing. Do you choose to chew goo too, sir? When beetles battle beetles in a puddle paddle battle, and a beetle battle puddle is a puddle in a bottle, they call this a tweedle beetle bottle puddle paddle battle muddle. And when a fox is in the bottle where the tweedle beetles battle with their paddles in a puddle on a noodle eating poodle, this is what they call a tweedle beetle noodle poodle bottle paddle muddle duddle fuddle waddle fox in socks, sir. Fox in socks, our game is done, sir. Thank you for a lot of fun, sir. The end.
Are You My Mother? By P.D. Eastman.
Mother bird sat on her egg. The egg jumped. "Oh!" said the mother bird. "My baby will be here. He will want to eat."
I must get something for my baby bird to eat, she said. I will be back. The egg jumped. It jumped and jumped and jumped. Out came the baby bird. Where's my mother? He said. He looked for her. He looked up. He did not see her. He looked down. He did not see her. I will go and look for her, he said. So away he went. Down out of the tree he went. Down, down, down. It was a long way down. The baby bird could not fly. He could not fly, but he could walk. Now I will go and find my mother, he said. He did not know what his mother looked like. He went right by her, but he did not see her. He came to a kitten. Are you my mother? He said to the kitten. The kitten just looked and looked. It did not say a thing. The kitten was not his mother, so he went on. Then he came to a hen. Are you my mother? He said to the hen. No, said the hen. The kitten was not his mother. The hen was not his mother. So the baby bird went on. I have to find my mother, he said. But where? Where is she? Where could she be? Then he came to a dog. Are you my mother? He said to the dog. I am not your mother. I'm a dog, said the dog. The kitten was not his mother. The hen was not his mother. The dog was not his mother. So the baby bird went on. Now he came to a cow. Are you my mother? He said to the cow. How could I be your mother? Said the cow. I am a cow. The kitten and the hen were not his mother. The dog and the cow were not his mother. Did he have a mother? I did have a mother, said the baby bird. I know I did. I have to find her. I will. I will. Now the baby bird did not walk. He ran. Then he saw a car. Could that old thing be his mother? No, it could not. The baby bird did not stop. He ran on and on. Now he looked way, way down. He saw a boat. There she is, said the baby bird. He called to the boat, but the boat did not stop. The boat went on. He looked way, way up. He saw a big plane. Here I am, mother, he called out. But the plane did not stop. The plane went on. Just then the baby bird saw a big thing. This must be his mother. There she is, he said. There is my mother. He ran right up to it. Mother, mother, here I am, mother, he said to the big thing. But the big thing just said, Smart. Oh, you're not my mother, said the baby bird. You are a snort. I have to get out of here. But the baby bird could not get away. The snort went up. It went way, way up. And up, up, up went the baby bird. But now, where was the snort going? Uh-oh. Oh, what is this snort going to do with me? Get me out of here. Just then, the snort came to a stop. Where am I? Said the baby bird. I want to go home. I want my mother. Then something happened. The snort put that baby bird right back in the tree. The baby bird was home. Just then the mother bird came back to the tree. Do you know who I am? She said to her baby. Yes, I know who you are, said the baby bird. You are not a kitten. You are not a hen. You are not a dog. You are not a cow. You are not a boat or a plane or a snort. You are a bird and you are my mother. The end.
The Best Nest by P.D. Eastman. Mr. Bird was happy. He was so happy he had to sing. This was Mr. Bird's song. I love my house, I love my nest. In all the world, my nest is best. Then Mrs. Bird came out of the house.
It is not the best nest,
she said.
I'm tired of this old place,
said Mrs. Bird.
I hate it. Let's look for a new place right now.
So they left the old place to look for a new one. This place looks nice, said Mr. Bird. Let's move in here. But somebody else had already moved in. So they looked at another house. This one looks nice, said Mr. Bird, and there's nobody in it.
You're wrong,
said Mrs. Bird.
this house belongs to a foot.
So they went on looking. I like this one, said Mr. Bird. It has a pretty red flag on the roof,
I've always wanted a house with a flag.
said Mrs. Bird.
Maybe this place will be all right.
But it was not all right. I guess I made a mistake, said Mr. Bird.
You make too many mistakes.
Said Mrs. Bird.
I'm going to pick the next house. And here it is, right here.
They flew in. They looked around. Isn't it too big? Asked Mr. Bird.
I like this big place.
Said Mrs. Bird.
This is the place to build our new nest.
They went right to work. They needed many things to build their nest. First, they got some hay. They got some soda straws and broom straws. They got some sweater strings. Oh no! They got some stocking string and mattress stuffing. They got some horsehair. They got some man hair. Soon they had all the hay, all the straw, all the string, all the stuffing, all the horsehair, and all the man hair they could carry. They took it all back to build their nest. Mr. and Mrs. Bird worked very hard. It took them the rest of the morning to finish their nest.
This nest is really the best,
said Mrs. Bird.
I want to stay here forever.
Mr. Bird was very happy too. He flew to the top of his house. He sang his song again. I love our house. I love our nest. In all the world, our nest is best. He was so busy singing, he didn't even see Mr. Parker coming. Every day at 12 o'clock, Mr. Parker came to the church. Mr. Parker came to pull a rope. The rope went up to the bird's new nest. The rope rang the big bell right under Mrs. Bird's nest. Mrs. Bird got out of there as fast as she could fly. When Mr. Bird came in, all he could see was a mess of hay and string and stuffing and horsehair and man hair and straws. Where was Mrs. Bird? I will look for her until I find her, said Mr. Bird. He looked high, he looked low, he looked everywhere for Mrs. Bird. He looked down into a chimney, but Mrs. Bird wasn't there. He looked down into a water barrel, but Mrs. Bird wasn't there. Then he saw a big fat cat. There was a big fat smile on that fat cat's face. There were some pretty brown feathers near the fat cat's mouth. Mr. Bird began to cry. Oh dear, he cried. This big fat cat has eaten Mrs. Bird. Mr. Bird flew off. I'll never see Mrs. Bird again, he cried. It was getting dark. It began to rain. It rained harder and harder. Mr. Bird could not see where he was going. Crash! Mr. Bird bumped into something. It was his old house. That old house that Mrs. Bird hated. I'll go inside, said Mr. Bird. I'll rest here until the rain stops. Mr. Bird went in, and there was Mrs. Bird, sitting there singing,
I love my house. I love my nest. In all the world, this nest is best.
You? Here? Gasped Mr. Bird. I thought you hated this old nest. Mrs. Bird smiled.
I used to hate it,
She said,
but a mother bird can change her mind, you see. there's no nest like an old nest for a brand new bird.
And when the egg popped open, the new bird thought so too. The end.
I wish I had duck feet, by Dr. Seuss.
I wish that I had duck feet, and I can tell you why. You can splash around in duck feet. You don't have to keep them dry. I wish that I had duck feet. No more shoes. No shoes for me. The man down at the shoe store would not have my size, you see. If I had 2 duck feet, I would laugh at Big Bill Brown. I would say, "You don't have duck feet. These are all there are in town." I think it would be very good to have them when I play. Only kids with duck feet on can ever play this way. But my mother would not like them. She would say, "Get off my floor." She would say, "You take your duck feet and you take them out that door. Don't you ever come in here again with duck feet on. Now don't." So, I guess I can't have duck feet. I would like to, but I won't. So, if I can't have duck feet, I'll have something else instead. Say, I know what. I wish I had 2 horns upon my head. I wish I had 2 deer horns. They would be a lot of fun. Then I could wear 10 hats up there. Big Bill can just wear 1. I think they would be very good to have when I play ball. Then nobody could stop me. No, sir, nobody at all. My horns could carry books and stuff, like paper, pens and strings, and apples for my teachers, and lots of other things. But if I had big deer horns, I would never get a ride. I would never get a ride the school bus. I could never get inside. And so, I won't have deer horns. I'll have something else instead. I wish I had a whale spout on my head. When days get hot, it would be good to spout my spout in school. And then Miss Banks would say, Thanks, you keep our school so cool." I could play all day in summer. I would never feel the heat. I would beat Big Bill at tennis. I would play him off his feet. But my mother would not like it. I know just what she would say. "Not in the house, you shut that off, you take that spout away." I know that she would tell me, "I don't want that spout about." And when mother does not want a thing, it's O-U-T. It's out. And so, I will not have one. I don't wish to be a whale. I think it would be better if I had a long, long tail. I wish I had a long, long tail. Someday I will, I hope. And then I'll show the kids in town new ways to jump a rope. If I had a long, long tail, I know what I would like. I would like to ride down State Street pulling girls behind my bike. I wish I had a long, long tail, and I can tell you why. I could hit a fly 10 feet away and hit him in the eye. I know Miss Bank would like this. She would smile and she would say, "No other boy in town can hit a fly so far away." But if I had a long, long tail, I know that Big Bill Brown would tie me in a tree. He would. Then how would I get down? I don't think that I would like it with my tail tied in a tree. The more I think about it, no long, long tail for me. And so, if I can't have a tail, I'll have a long, long nose. A nose just like an elephant's, the longest nose that grows. I wish I had a long, long nose, and I can tell you why. I think it would be very good to get at things up high. Every kid in town would love it. Every kid but Big Bill Brown. And every time I saw him, I would sneeze and blow him down. Achoo! Say, I could help the firemen. My nose would be just right. I could help them put out fires 100 times a night. Oh, I would do a lot of things that no one ever did. And everyone in town would say, "Just watch that long-nosed kid." But if I had a long, long nose, I know what Dad would do. My dad would make me wash the car, the house and windows too. My dad would make me work all day and wash things with that hose. I guess it would not be so good to have a long, long nose. Now, let me think about it.
All these things I want are bad, and so I wish. What do I wish I had? I know what. I know just what. I know just what to do. I wish that I had all those things. I'd be a witch. What woo? If I could be a witch, what who? I'd jump high in the air. I'd splash and spout and run about. I'd give the town a scare. But the people would not like it. They would be so scared, I bet. They would call the town policeman. They would catch me in a net. They would put me in the zoo house with my horns and nose and feet. And hay, just hay, 2 times a day is all I'd get to eat. I think I would be very sad when people came to call. So I don't think a witch what who would be much fun at all. And so I think there are some things I do not wish to be. And that is why I think that I just wish to be like me. The end.
Great Day for Up by Dr. Seuss.
Up! Up! The sun is getting up. The sun gets up, so up with you. Up ear number 1, ear number 2. Up heads, up whiskers, tails. Up, up, great day today, great day for up. Up, up, you! Open up your eyes, you worms, you frogs, you butterflies. Up whales, up snails, up rooster, hen. Up girls and women, boys and men. Great day for up feet, lefts and rights, and up, up, baseballs, footballs, kites. Up, up voices, louder, higher. Great day to sing upon a wire. Upstairs, up ladders, up on stilts. Great day for up Mount Dilmadilts. Everybody's doing ups on bikes and trees and buttercups. Up, up waiters, alligators, up folks, up in elevators. Up, up giraffes, great day for seals. Great day for up on Ferris wheels. Up, 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 fill up the air. Up flags, balloons, up everywhere. Up, up, up! Great day for up. Wake every person, pig and pup, till everyone on earth is up. Except for me. Please go away. No up. I'm sleeping in today. The end.
Horton Hears a Who by Dr. Seuss.
On the 15th of May, in the jungle of Nool, in the heat of the day, in the cool of the pool, he was splashing, enjoying the jungle's great joys, when Horton the elephant heard a small noise. So Horton stopped splashing. He looked towards the sound.
That's funny,
Thought Horton.
there's no one around.
Then he heard it again, just a very faint yelp, as if some tiny person were calling for help.
I'll help you,
Said Horton.
but who are you? Where?
He looked and he looked. He could see nothing there but a small speck of dust blowing past through the air.
I say,
Murmured Horton.
I've never heard tell of a small speck of dust that is able to yell. So you know what I think? Why, I think that there must be someone on top of that small speck of dust. Some sort of creature of very small size, too small to be seen by an elephant's eyes. Some poor little person who's shaking with fear that he'll blow in the pool He has no way to steer. I'll just have to save him, because, after all, a person's a person, no matter how small.
So gently and using the greatest of care, the elephant stretched his great trunk through the air, and he lifted the dust speck and carried it over and placed it down safe on a very soft clover.
Humph, humphed the voice. 'Twas a sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said humph too.
Why, that speck is as small as the head of a pin. A person on that? Why, there never has been.
Believe me,
Said Horton.
I tell you sincerely, my eyes are quite keen and I heard him quite clearly. I know there's a person down there, and what's more, quite likely there's two, even three, even four, quite likely a family for all that we know, a family with children just starting to grow. So please, Horton said, as a favor to me, try not to disturb them, just please let them be.
I think you're a fool, laughed the sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said,
Me too. You're the biggest blamed fool in the jungle of Nool.
and the kangaroos plunged in the cool of the pool.
What a terrible splashing!
The elephant frowned.
I can't let my very small persons get drowned. I've got to protect them. I'm bigger than they.
So he plucked up the clover and hustled away. Through the high jungle treetops the news quickly spread.
He talks to a dust speck. He's out of his head. Just look at him walk with that speck on that flower.
And Horton walked worrying almost an hour.
Should I put this speck down?
Horton thought with alarm.
If I do, these small persons may come to great harm. I can't put it down, and I won't. After all, a person's a person, no matter how small.
Then Horton stopped walking. The speck voice was talking. The voice was so faint he could just barely hear it.
Speak up, please,
Said Horton. He put his ear near it.
My friend,
Came the voice.
you're a very fine friend. You've helped all us folks on this dust speck no end. You've saved all our houses, our ceilings and floors. You've saved all our churches and grocery stores.
You mean
Horton gasped.
you have buildings there too?
Oh yes,
Piped the voice.
we most certainly do. I know,
Called the voice.
I'm too small to be seen, but I'm the mayor of a town that is friendly and clean. Our buildings to you would seem terribly small, but to us who aren't big, they are wonderfully tall. My town is called Whoville, for I am a Who, and we Whos are all thankful and grateful to you.
And Horton called back to the mayor of the town.
You're safe now, don't worry. I won't let you down.
But just as he spoke to the mayor of the speck, 3 big jungle monkeys climbed up Horton's neck. The Wickersham brothers came shouting, "What rot! This elephant's talking to Whos who are not! There aren't any Whos and they don't have a mayor, and we're gonna stop all this nonsense, so there!" They snatched Horton's clover. They carried it off to a black-bottom eagle named Vladikov. A mighty strong eagle of very swift wing, and they said, "Will you kindly get rid of this thing?" And before the poor elephant even could speak, the eagle flew off with the flower in his beak. All that late afternoon and far into the night, that black-bottomed bird flapped his wings in fast flight, while Horton chased after with groans over stones that tattered his toenails and battered his bones, and begged,
Please don't harm all my little folks who have as much right to live as us bigger folks do.
But far, far beyond them, that eagle kept flapping, and over his shoulder called back, "Quit your yapping. I'll fly the night through. I'm a bird, I don't mind it, and I'll hide this tomorrow where you'll never find it." And at 6:56 the next morning, he did it. It sure was a terrible place that he hid it. He let that small clover drop somewhere inside of a great patch of clovers 100 miles wide. "Find that," sneered the bird, "but I think you will fail." And he left with a flip of his black-bottomed tail.
I'll find it, cried Horton. I'll find it or bust. I shall find my friends on my small speck of dust.
And clover by clover by clover with care, he picked up and searched them and called,
Are you there?
But clover by clover by clover he found
that the one that he sought for was just not around, and by noon poor old Horton, more dead than alive, had picked, searched, and piled up 9,005. Then on through the afternoon, hour after hour, till he found them at last on the 3,000,000th flower.
My friends,
Cried the elephant.
tell me, do tell, are you safe? Are you sound? Are you whole? Are you well?
From down on the speck came the voice of the mayor.
We've really had trouble, much more than our share. When that black-bottomed birdie let go and we dropped, we landed so hard that our clocks have all stopped. Our teapots are broken, our rocking chairs smashed, and our bicycle tires all blew up when we crashed. So Horton, please,
Pleaded the voice of the mayor's.
will you stick by us who's while we're making repairs?
Of course,
Horton answered.
of course I will stick. I'll stick by you small folks through thin and through thick.
Humph,
Humphed the voice.
for almost 2 days you've run wild and insisted on chatting with persons who've never existed. Such carryings on in our peaceable jungle. We've had quite enough of your bellowing bungle, and I'm here to state,
Snapped the big kangaroo.
that your silly, nonsensical game is all through.
And the young kangaroo in her pouch said,
Me too! With the help of the Wickersham brothers and dozens of Wickersham uncles and Wickersham cousins and Wickersham in-laws whose help I've engaged, you're going to be roped and you're going to be caged. And as for your dustback, that we shall boil in a hot steaming kettle of bezelnut oil.
Boil it, gasped Horton. Oh, that you can't do. It's all full of persons. I'll prove it to you. Mr. Mayor, Horton called. Mr. Mayor, you've got to prove now that you really are there. So call a big meeting. Get everyone out. Make every who holler. Make every who shout. Make every who scream. If you don't, every who is going to end up in a bezelnut stew.
And down on the dust speck the scared little mayor quick called a big meeting in Whoville Town Square. And as people cried loudly, they cried out in fear,
We are here! We are here! We are here! We are here!
The elephant smiled.
That was clear as a bell. You kangaroo surely heard that very well.
All I heard
Snapped the big kangaroo.
was the breeze and the faint sound of wind through the far distant trees. I heard no small voices, and you didn't either.
And the young kangaroo in her pouch said,
Me neither. Grab him, they shouted, and cage the big dope. Lasso his stomach with 10 miles of rope. Tie the nuts tight so he'll never shake loose. Then dunk that dump speck in bezelnut juice.
Horton fought back with great vigor and vim, but the Wickersham gang was too many for him. They beat him, they mauled him, they started to haul him into his cage, but he managed to call to the mayor,
Don't give up, I believe in you all. A person's a person no matter how small. And you very small persons will not have to die if you make yourself heard. So come on, now, and try.
The mayor grabbed a tom-tom. He started to smack it, and all over Whoville they whooped up a racket. They rattled tin kettles, they beat on brass pans, on garbage pail tops and old cranberry cans. They blew on bazookas and blasted great toots, on clarinet oompas and boompas and flutes. Great gusts of loud racket rang high through the air. They rattled and shook the whole sky, and the mayor called up through the howling mad hullabaloo.
Hey Horton, how's this? Is the sound coming through?
And Horton called back,
I can hear you just fine. But the kangaroo's ears aren't as strong, quite as mine. They don't hear a thing. Are you sure all your boys are doing their best? Are they all making noise? Are you sure every who in Whoville is working? Quick, look through your town. Is there anyone shirking?
Through the town rushed the mayor from east to the west, but everyone seemed to be doing his best. Everyone seemed to be yapping or yipping. Everyone seemed to be beeping or bipping. But it wasn't enough, all this ruckus and roar. He had to find someone to help him make more. He raced through each building, he searched floor to floor. And just as he felt he was getting nowhere, and almost about to give up in despair, he suddenly burst through a door and that mayor discovered one shirker, quite hidden away in the Fairfax apartments, apartment 12J. A very small shirker named Jojo was standing, just standing, and bouncing a yo-yo. Not making a sound, not a yip, not a chirp. And the mayor rushed inside and he grabbed the young twerp. And he climbed with the lad up the Eiffelberg Tower. "This," cried the mayor, "is your town's darkest hour. The time for all who have blood that is red to come to the aid of their country," he said. "We've got to make noise in greater amount, so open your mouth, lad, for every voice counts." Thus he spoke as he climbed, and when they got to the top, the lad cleared his throat, and he shouted out, "Yop!" And that yop, that one small extra yop, put it over. Finally, at last, from that speck on that clover, their voices were heard. They rang out clear and clean, and the elephant smiled.
Do you see what I mean? They've proven they are persons no matter how small, and their whole world was saved by the smallest of all.
"How true! Yes, how true!" said the big kangaroo. "And from now on, you know what I'm planning to do? From now on, I'm going to protect them with you!" And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, "Me too! From sun in the summer, from rain when it's fallish, I'm going to protect them, no matter how smallish." The end. Marvin K. Mooney, Will You Please Go Now? By Dr. Seuss. The time has come. The time has come. The time is now. Just go. 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 I don't care how. You can go by foot. You can go by cow. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please go now? You can go on skates. You can go on skis. You can go in a hat. But please go, please. I don't care. You can go by bike. You can go on a Zyke bike if you like. If you like, you can go in an old blue shoe. Just go, go, go. Please do. Marvin K. Mooney, I don't care how. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please go now? You can go on stilts. You can go buy fish. You can go in a crunk car if you wish. If you wish, you may go by lion's tail, or stamp yourself and go by mail. Marvin K. Mooney, don't you know the time has come to go, go, go? Get on your way, please, Marvin K. You might like going in a Zumblesay. You can go by balloon, or broomstick, or you can go by camel in a bureau drawer. You can go by bumbleboat, or jet. I don't care how you go, just get. Get yourself a gazoom. You can go with a boom. Marvin, will you leave this room? Marvin K. Mooney, I don't care how. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please go now? I said go, and go I meant. The time had come, so Marvin went. Bye-bye. The end. I Am Not Going to Get Up Today by Dr. Seuss, illustrated by James Stevenson. Please let me be. Please go away. I am not going to get up today. The alarm can ring, the birds can peep. My bed is warm, my pillow's deep. Today's the day I'm going to sleep. I don't care if kids are getting up right now all over town. I'm the kid who isn't getting up. I'm staying down. All around the world they're getting up, and that's okay with me. Let the kids get up in Switzerland or Memphis, Tennessee. Let the kids get up in Alaska and in China. I don't care. Let the kids get up in Italy. Let the kids get up in Spain. Let them get up in Massachusetts and Connecticut and Maine. Let the kids get up in London and in Paris and Berlin. Let them get up all they want to, but not me. I'm sleeping in. I've never been so sleepy since I can't remember when. You can take away my breakfast, give my egg back to the hen. Nobody's going to get me up, no matter what he does. Today's my day for woozy, snoozy, ziz, 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 zazz, zazz. You can tickle my feet. You can shake my bed. You can pour cold water on my head. But you're wasting your time, so go away. I am not going to get up today. In bed is where I'm going to stay, and I don't care what the neighbors say. I never liked them anyway. Let them try to wake me, let them scream and yowl and yelp. They can yelp from now till Christmas, but it isn't going to help. My bed is warm, my pillow's deep. Today's the day I'm going to sleep. I don't choose to be up walking, I don't choose to be up talking. The only thing I'm choosing is to lie here woozy snoozing. So won't you kindly go away? I am not going to get up today. You won't get me up with a strawberry flip. You won't get me up with a marshmallow dip. Or a pineapple butterscotch ding dang do. My tongue's asleep and my teeth are too. You can try with dogs and roosters. You can try with goats and geese. But I'm going to go on snoozing. You can't bring in the police. You can print it in the paper, spread the news all over town, but nothing's going to get me up. Today I'm staying down.
Boy won't get up, extra, extra, boy won't get up.
You can shoot at me with peas and beans. You can bring in the United States Marines. You can put the whole thing on TV, but I won't get up today, not me. Nothing's going to get me up. Why can't you understand? You'll only waste your money if you hire a big brass band. That's why I say, please go away. I am not going to get up today. I guess he really means it. So you can have the egg. The end. Thank you for watching our video. Please do get up today and like and subscribe for more wonderful children's stories.